Okay, hello everybody. So we had a couple problems with some of the problems or the exercises. I'm going to do, looks like 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, and 18 were very problematic for everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through a couple of those and hopefully that'll get you on the right track. All right. So here is 11 right here. Let's go ahead and do that one. So we are looking for the square root of 625. All right. And bear with me. Sometimes this is going to kind of move because I have pins in my hands. So sometimes it goes off on the touchscreen really bad. But let's see if we can't figure it out. All right. So we're going to go square root of 625. All right. This third number right here helps us a lot. Okay. It basically tells us that whatever we are multiplying by itself has to be a 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, 15 times 15, I'm not sure right off the top of my head, but it's going to end in a 5. Okay, so we can kind of guess around with factors that are 5. Well, we know 5 times 5 is 25. That's not going to be it. Well, I did mention 15, so let's try 15. 15 times 15. Okay, so it's going to be 5, 2. 2 times 5 times 1 is 5. Carry the 2 is 75. Put our 0 because we're multiplying in the tens place, and we want to have our placeholder. And we know that it's 150. So we're going to get 5. We're going to get 12, and we're going to get 225. Well, keep that in mind because these are perfect squares. So as we process through these things are going to get easier and easier because you're going to kind of remember the ones that we have. All right, so we obviously it's not 5. It's not 15. So the next jump up is 25, and my guess is that's probably a pretty good guess. Okay, so let's do 25 times 25. Okay, 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 125. 0 for a placeholder. And I know that this is going to be 50. I add these together, 2 and 625. And there's my square root. So I know the square root of 625 is 25. Because 25 times 25 is equal to the square root of 625. All right, so that is number 11. Let's go look at number 13. Okay. So I'm going to go and I'm going to move this up a little bit. Okay. And put 13 here. And what I will do is I will actually put this up on Google Classroom so you guys can have these notes as well. All right. So we're going to look at 13 again is plus or minus radicand 1 over 961. Okay. Plus or minus radicand 1 over 961. Okay, so basically with fractions, you're going to square the numerator, and you're gonna find the square root of the numerator, and find the square root of the denominator. Okay, the plus and minus outside the radicand basically tells you that you're going to have two answers. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. Because remember, if you are multiplying two negative numbers, they form a positive. So let's take the square root of 4, which is 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 would be positive 4. All right, so square root of 1 is actually pretty easy. What times itself will give you 1? Well, 1 times 1 equals 1. So we know that the square root there is 1. Okay, I'm going to change that to black. Okay, so now we have to get to 961. Okay, that's where it gets a kind of a little bit more difficult. All right. However, we know that 1 times 1 will equal 1. So whatever number we're utilizing has to end in 1. Okay. So what would be kind of a good guess here? Well, we know that 25 times 25 actually equals 625. So we obviously know the number's got to be higher than 25. So what's the first double-digit number that ends with 1 after 25? Well, that's 31. So let's do 31 times 31. And that's what square root, finding square roots and squaring numbers is, well, squaring numbers are a little easier because you're just multiplying. But finding the square roots it's going to be a lot of trial and error. Okay, so let's try this. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 0 for my placeholder. 3 times 1 is 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, I add those together, and we're going to get 1. 3 plus 3 is 6, 9. And what number are we looking for? 961. So it is 31. However, that's not my only answer. Remember this right here, okay? We have to have a positive and a negative. So our answer is going to be positive 1/31 and negative 1 31 hundredths. Okay? All right, so that's going to cover problems 11 and 13. I'm going to do another video where I kind of cover 14, 17, and 18. I'll probably just pick one of those and we'll go from there, but I just don't want to be too lengthy. All right?